Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kiana and I do a lot of sewing and fashion videos, and today we are going to be recreating a Lirika Matoshi dress. Let me show you. My Prada recreation video did so well. You guys loved it so much that you wanted it into a series, so here we are with the video number 2. Here is the Lirika Matoshi dress I want to make. Is this not so me? It's so gorgeous. It has this gorgeous heart cut out in the middle, a bunch of gathering in the bodice, halter, she's silk. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of silk because girl, we're on a budget. $296.50 on fabric. But the draping, adorable. How much is it, you ask? $750. However though, I don't want to spoil the video, but I'm thinking this dress is probably going to be expensive to create. So I'm going to track how long it takes me to sew this dress, how much I spend on the fabric, the notions, everything. And then at the end of the video, we'll tally everything up, do a little cost analysis, and see if this dress is actually worth it. But I'm also a little scared because I'm not 100% confident in the dress's construction. The way that heart is so crisp with all the gathers, they have some engineering in there, some structure in there that we're not seeing, and it is definitely going to be a challenge to figure out. Anyways, I want to finish making this dress this week, so step number 1 would be to go and buy fabric. So let's go to Joann. As you can probably tell, our trip to Joann was fruitless. However, I did get a zipper, I did get some thread, but we did not get charmeuse. I knew Joann was not gonna have silk charmeuse, but I was hoping they would have something silky, something that felt nice. And they have had a lot of nice, silky charmeuse fabrics before. I've used it before, but this time they didn't have anything. So I did some research. I think I found the fabric I want to get. I preach to everyone to always buy swatches before you pull the trigger and buy your fabric. However, we don't have time because I want to do this in a week. We want to stay on top of things. I want to put out content for you guys, so we can't order a swatch, which is scary because I think I'm about to spend, let's see, $296.50 on fabric, not including taxes and shipping. But this is from NewYorkDesignerFabrics.com, NY Designer Fabrics. It's 19 mummy for the weight, which is what I was looking for. It's probably gonna be a bias cut garment. And I'm also going to self-line it with this fabric, which means we gotta get double the fabric. Plus the bodice has a ton of gathers, which uses a lot of fabric. There's probably a few yards in there in just the bodice. So right now I have 11 yards in my cart. Well, it's gonna take a few days for the fabric to get here, but that is okay because we are gonna prototype this so hard. So in the meantime, let's start figuring out how to make this dress. So I knew the hardest part of this dress was probably going to be that cutout heart with the gathers, particularly how to actually construct it. I knew we would have to create some sort of structure to keep that heart shape intact as you were wearing it so it didn't get pulled apart. And I knew there was probably gonna have to be flat lining, and a casing. So after probably 3 or 4 hours of trying to figure this out, I headed to Home Depot and picked out some wire to use for the heart. All right, I don't have a ton of footage from Home Depot because the nicest man ever asked me if I needed help and then proceeded to absolutely slay with his advice, I think. So he saw me standing there picking out some wire, which I got the 55-pound, 16-gauge galvanized steel wire. It felt like the correct strength and size for what I needed, I think. So first I asked him, how am I gonna cut this? I got some wire cutters already, but I'm pretty weak. And I'm gonna need some extra help for this. So he said, get this. And I said, bet. So we got a big bolt cutter ready to break into some places. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna use 2 wires for each side of the heart and I need to connect them somehow. So he said, I've got 2 options for you. 1, you could solder it. And I was like, girl, I don't know about that. And then he was like, option 2 is this steel reinforced epoxy. He said it's really strong and it's quick set. I would have never come to this conclusion. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Home Depot. Love you, Home Depot. Now that we have the supplies, we know what we're doing, we can kind of experiment with the wires and go do the draping and make the pattern. Guys, why is it perfect? I actually was not expecting this. A very rare occurrence has happened where we have 0 pattern changes. Fits perfectly. How I did that with bias cut, I don't know. We only got 2 bust darts and she fits like an absolute glove. Oh my goodness. The skirt isn't on the bias because it's so full. Like, it's just like which part of the skirt ends up being on the bias. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I should not put this particular skirt on the bias, especially if we're doing this little slit right here. Well, I've been working on it 7 hours so far, from pattern making to prototype. I'm so excited we don't have to make a second prototype for fits. We can go straight into figuring out the patterning and the structuring of the heart and the gathers. So job well done for the night. I'll catch you in the morning. Good morning. All right, fresh day. The fabric is supposed to get here today. The silk charmeuse we ordered. Also, please excuse me if I have a bit of a lisp. I went to the dentist this morning and they did yell at me for not wearing my Invisalign. Well, they didn't yell at me, but they're like, girl, you gotta wear that. And I was like, girl, you're right, my bad. So I'm gonna be wearing my Invisalign, hopefully, for the rest of this video. So there may be a lisp. Anyways, so I have patterned the front bodice for all those crazy gathers. I don't know if this is gonna work. This is what I think in my head is gonna work. I just blew the piece up like crazy. Like I did like a little slash and spread around the heart. I slashed it, then I spread it, then I redrew the pattern piece. So this is what it looks like. I guess I gotta cut it on the bias as well so it can still stretch. But yeah, my confidence levels are kind of low right now for this. So let's get to work. I finished filming that clip and literally the guy just delivered the fabric. So let's do an unboxing. Color looks great, I will say that. Oh my God, the colors, it looks brighter on camera actually than it is in real life, but color, gorgeous. She's the perfect way. Am I concerned because silk charmeuse, 20,000 times harder to sew with than polyester charmeuse. So my biggest tip to you would be if you're struggling to sew with polyester charmeuse, absolutely do not upgrade to the silk yet until you are strong with the polyester because this, oh, but look at her. Look at this, ooh, versus this. I don't know, you just have to be here. You gotta feel them. Can you tell? Visually, can you guys tell a difference? I can. Okay, well, I'm still gonna continue prototyping. I'm not gonna cut into this yet because it was so expensive. All right, guys, so that was a fail. I knew it probably would be, but what have we learned from this is that we can't cut corners and we are going to have to hand plate the entire bodice. Yay! So we'll be hand plating. For now, I'm just gonna make a second plain front bodice piece and try to see if I can figure out how I'm going to support the heart shape with some wire. So until we have the fabric, we'll do that. Good morning. It is day 3 and we have finished prototyping. I know it's not a finished prototype, but I just had to get the construction methods and fit down. So here we go. Please excuse the poorly sewn heart. I just sewed it super fast. I didn't clip it enough. She's puckering. But I was just trying to figure out how I could get this wire in here with a shell and a lining and everything, you know. The wire's in here. She's holding her shape. She's Gorgina. This side isn't sewn, but this side is finished. I just did the little burrito method to finish this. And then everything after that should be smooth sailing. The only thing I'm concerned about is the hand pleating on the bodice. But look at her. Guys, I fear I have to redo all of this. Did this take me an hour and a half? Yes, but I fear that theirs isn't gathered as much, which doesn't bother me. However, when I go to sew right here and turn it right side out, it's gonna be way too thick. Like that's way too much bulk here. So I fear I need to redo all of the work I just did. Okay guys, moment of truth. I've spent 2.5 hours hand stitching everything. I already took the pins off here and it seems to be holding up well, but it's time to take off the other pins. Hooray that it holds its shape. All right, it seems to be holding well. Oh my goodness. I think I did it. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I don't know. Ta-da! I accidentally sewed it into my muslin fabric here, but nothing got on the dress form, so. I did it. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know why my confidence was so low, but it came out perfectly. Look at my heart and my little wire epoxy creations in there too for stability, so it won't get all warped when you wear it. This has been the longest project ever. However, I just learned new techniques. I challenged myself. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but like I could cry. I'm actually so proud of myself. Hello, excuse the outfit. I just got back from Pilates, but I had my skirt here sitting for the past couple of hours. So before I sew this seam, it could stretch a little bit because of the bias. I stay stitched the waistline though, so that wouldn't stretch. We're always 2 steps ahead. But I'm really excited to put this on just so we could look at it together, see it come to life a little. Also, I fear I have an issue with the amount of fabric I bought. I really thought 11 yards was gonna be way too much, but my little fabric bolt is dwindling over there. And I still have to do the big bow ties in the back, so I'm concerned because I also wanted to use it to line the skirt, which is a whole lot of fabric I have to cut again. If worse comes to worse, I won't line the skirt with this fabric. I definitely have to use the fabric obviously for like the bow halter tie, so that's first priority. Okay, sorry, this is not even. I did not pin this even, you guys. Okay, how's it look? Oh my gosh, it looks so good. This is kind of billowing because it wants to stretch. So I'm gonna remove, I think, the stay stitch before I sew onto the waist. Guys, I did not think I could do this. It's turning out so good. Ambitious goal is to finish it tonight. It's 6:30, but I want to stop in like 3 hours. There's no way I'm gonna finish it tonight, but let's see how far we get. So I finally finished. I did not realize that this would take this long to make. But I'm kind of exhausted. It's super late. So here she is on the dress form, and I'll see you guys in the morning to try her on and do all the calculations on how much it cost me to make it and how long it took me to make it. See you in the morning. Good morning. All right, here's the dress on. What do you guys think? I fear this is some of the best sewing I've ever done. These pleats, this bow, I love her, but let's get into what you've been waiting for, the cost breakdown. I've already done the calculations. First, let's go over materials. We used silk charmeuse fabric, which was so expensive, and I paid for 2-day shipping. I also bought a zipper, thread, and stay tape, making the total cost of materials $366.84. That's already so expensive. However, I'm sure Lirika Matoshi has like cheaper ways to get silk charmeuse. So I doubt they're spending half the selling price like of the dress on fabric. Like I'm sure they can get cheaper silk charmeuse than this. Oh, and I did use all those 11 yards. There was like barely anything left, girl. And then let's also break down labor because it costs money to produce things. I'm gonna use $40 an hour for labor because to live in the United States comfortably, you need like $80,000, or at least that's what Google said. To be honest, with these prices, you're gonna need more. This is what Google said, this is what we're going with. So $40 an hour. It took me 3 hours to create the pattern. It took me 10 hours to do all of the prototyping process. I spent about 6 hours thinking through the construction and the order of operations for sewing this dress. And then for the final sewing, it took me 28 hours. So that brings the total labor hours to 47 hours. Times $40 an hour is $1,880. That plus the materials brings the total cost for this garment to $2,246.84. That's kind of expensive. We would have been better off just buying the dress. Now, of course, there are a ton of differences between how much it costs to create this versus the Lirika Matoshi. They're not making a pattern every time. They're not prototyping each time. They're not thinking through construction each time. They're also probably sewing the dress much faster than 28 hours because I had to go slow. I was figuring it out. So I'm sure they can also get the cost of labor way down from what I did. So that's how much it cost. We had some issues with calculating the selling price of the dress last time. So I won't be doing that this time. I'll put up on the screen how much it would cost if I multiplied the cost by 2, 3, and 4 times. But again, that's how much it cost me to create this dress, not how much it cost Lirika Matoshi to create the dress. I can't state any facts. I can only state how much it cost me personally as an individual. Something I will say though, 100% Lirika Matoshi is charging a fair price for this dress. $750 for a gorgeous silk charmeuse dress. I knew from the very beginning that it was a fair price. $750 to even like $1,200 seems like the right price for this dress. So if you want this dress, girl, I'm gonna link Lirika Matoshi down below. Amazing job. Give her a round of applause. Beautiful design, beautiful creation, beautiful fabrics chosen. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Anyway, so this is the second designer piece that I've recreated this year. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave me a comment because it supports me, and let me know what designer you wanna see me recreate next, or any designer pieces. Leave me some links down below. But yeah, I had so much fun making this dress. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up because it's the easiest way to support your favorite creators for free. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Kiana Bonollo. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.